LaRue shifted the truck, grinding the gears. A Cuban in a brown jumpsuit and an American in an army t-shirt and fatigues moved toward the truck. LaRue leaned around to the back seat. "Ride's over, boys. Get out." Patch raised his brows to Meinkewitz, and both men exited the rear doors. LaRue disappeared with a brass key he had removed from his pocket. He opened the padlock and pulled open the rear doors. Wooden storage boxes marked machinery and other boxes stenciled Schultzberger surrounded a 50mm machine gun. "We're good to go," said the soldier. "Good. There's more where this came from." LaRue threw the keys to the soldier and both men got inside the laundry truck. The truck started, spewing white smoke around the bay. Then it drove from the Fontainebleau as quickly as it had come in. "Now what, Jack?" LaRue panned the trucks back into the bays. "Stay here." Spence Turtling and Zamka, his sunglasses in place, emerged from the front lobby. They were with a ski-nosed man with a dark mustache and curly, receding hair. LaRue spotted them and moved forward. They met near Three Palms along the smooth white facade. LaRue shook hands and Zamka patted him on the shoulder. The three men then walked along the building to the docks. The mustache guy slipped a wad of bills into LaRue's hand. "Ray, Patch," said Zamka. "Gentlemen, I don't think you've met Rolando Massafair, Ray." Meinkewitz shook his hand and then faced the other two men. "I understand you've gathered some significant people here at the hotel. Sinatra ain't here no more, Meinkewitz, so forget it." "That's not what he means, Jack," said Zamka. "Jack, a few people you know are out back at the pool bar, and good work. Now we know we have that access." "Delivered as promised," said the cocky but submissive LaRue. "I'll be at the bar, boys. I have to confirm this with Vegas." "At the bar and he doesn't even drink," said Zamka. "Jack should just shut his mouth." LaRue entered the hotel through the first docking bays. Zamka turned to Patch and Meinkewitz. "I just want to tell you before you go up to the suite, I don't have to stress that Johnny Rosselli, Sam Giancana, and Santo Trafficante are no-nonsense people. They want to confirm in person what you said about Carlos Sánchez." "I understand," said Patch. Zamka checked the bay where LaRue had entered. He turned toward the lobby entrance about 200 feet back. "They'll enter from the front and then go up to their suite." They quickly crossed the asphalt and entered under a small white canopy. Fresh, cold air with a hint of cinnamon circulated around the lobby. Gold chandeliers were strewn above the expansive lobby's black and white tile. The platinum-plated elevators opened as soon as they approached. As they were whisked upward, Patch whispered in Menkiewicz's ear, "This is a tricky situation, Ray." Two men in dark suits and thin ties stood on either side of a wide-open door to the top suite. The rich blue Atlantic horizon stretched across the window span. Baxter motioned Meinkewitz and Patch to stop as Morles and Massafair disappeared across the silky apricot rug. Frank Regano, in a rich blue suit, his hair slightly greased and receding, approached the suite doors. I don't believe we've met. I'm Frank Regano. I'm legal counsel for Mr. Trafficante." "Ray Meinkewitz." "Hello, Patch." He shook Regano's hand. "Good to see you again, Mr. Regano." Menkiewicz's eyes opened as Regano faced Patch. "We need your cooperation this morning here, Patch." "I'll do the best I can. Okay." A sweet, potpourri-scented room opened to a wider drawing room with a white brick fireplace. Three men stood like tripods with drinks near the slider. They sipped dark wine from huge snifters. "Our guests have arrived." The man in the turtleneck moved with his drink across the rug. He had smooth silver hair and a crooked grin as he approached. "This is Johnny Rosselli," said Regano. "Gentlemen, we have been expecting you. Please come with me." "Mr. Rosselli?" The ever-slick Rosselli shook his hand with a unique smoothness. That same odd rising smile made Patch uncomfortable. He brought Patch ahead of Meinkewitz. "Mr. Giancana and Mr. Trafficante wish to meet you both," said Rosselli. He had a charming voice and a smoothie delivery. Regano opened a black briefcase on a mahogany table as Rosselli motioned Meinkewitz and Patch toward the other two men. The little man with the pink silk tie looked as if he were the improved, well-groomed version of Jack LaRue. "You made it, Captain Kincaid. I swear if I told Jack LaRue to go get Santa Claus, he'd have him back here before Christmas. I'm Santo Trafficante. Patch squeezed the little hand and panned the spacious drawing room out to the ocean far below. Meinkewitz stood with Regano back at the table. Patch Kincaid. This is Sam Giancana. Patch, I want to personally thank you for meeting with us today. May I get you some wine? Giancana personally poured the red wine into 2 additional snifters. He handed a snifter to Meinkewitz and brought the second snifter to Patch. Patch took the rich and full wine to his lips. Very good. Regano slipped Trafficante a vinyl-covered report. Trafficante put on his black-rimmed glasses and opened the cover. We've got all the information inside on you, Patch, from the Central Intelligence Agencies and your confinement at the exile base. Then the information about Carlos Sánchez came out after they drugged you. He looked over at Giancana. We now know that he is indeed playing both sides. We all, of course, are very grateful to you for telling us about Sánchez trying to kill one or all of us, said Giancana. We want him dead, regardless of what he's been up to. He's one very clever son of a bitch, said Trafficante. He murdered a high-level security officer in Cuba in the mid-50s. Well, he deserves death, said Patch. I like you already, Patch. Rosselli, laced with a heavy cologne, put his arm around Patch. Patch rubbed his nose, afraid he would sneeze. Something wrong? Everything is just fine, Mr. Rosselli. Good. We have lost a rather substantial investment, Patch. Our financial holdings on the island of Cuba were vast. Vast, Patch. When Castro came to power, he took it all away. There was no compensation, you see. Nothing, said Trafficante from behind. Not a dime. I spent time in Castro's Trescacorna detention center. I'm never going to forgive the bastard. We will not take our chances with Sánchez. See what I mean, Patch? Giancana stepped forward. There's a widespread belief, Patch, that Cuba is a political situation, and in a sense, maybe it is. For us, it's simple. Cuba is a financial situation. We want our property back. We want to, how can I say this? We wish to push aside those responsible for taking our property. But first things first, we would all like to live. Patch savored the wine in his mouth. That's a pretty good plan. Rosselli and the others laughed. We all have the same ends as the brigade, the exiles, and the U.S. government. Listen, we know you've got every intelligence officer who's somebody is confused as hell. Word is that your story bubbled up to the administration. Like Johnny and Sam Giancana alluded to, we don't give a rat's ass about this time travel cover. You've got it in for Carlos Sánchez. Good. You want him dead. We want him dead. We want you working for us because nobody knows who you are. We can always use someone with no identity to help do work for us. But I really don't know where Carlos is. Rosselli produced the cockeyed smile. Meinkewitz and the intelligence boys have no idea exactly where Carlos is. We do know that he'll defect during the attack on Cuba. He has asked to defect to the United States, but he's a goddamn liar. How do you know that? Trust me, said Rosselli. Trafficante took a step toward Meinkewitz. We'll arrange with our operatives in the agency for you to be on a mission before or during the invasion. Just keep all contact between us and Attorney Regano to yourself. We will coordinate with our contacts in Cuba so you know where Carlos will be. Meinkewitz shrugged his shoulders. It'd be rather difficult not to tell the CIA if they start questioning us. If either of you tells what we tell you, you will both be killed within 24 hours. On the other hand, said Meinkewitz, silence is a great peacemaker. Your job will not be to kill Castro. You will kill Sánchez, so he will not be a threat to us. You will have the information you need to locate him. Why not send a professional killer in to get Carlos Sánchez, Mr. Trafficante? Rosselli patted Meinkewitz on the back. I have people on the ground, all experienced, expert marksmen, thugs, killers who will do anything for money. But he raised his index finger and slowly shook his head. None of them wants Carlos dead, nor can they be easily inserted into the operation, said Giancana. Trafficante removed his glasses. You are the man we want flown into Cuba, and we'll sell the government on the plan. Patch studied their faces. They all awaited his reaction to the proposal. "We need weapons. We'll give you an additional incentive to complete this mission, Patch. Your fiancée, Kate." "Kate is dead, Mr. Trafficante." "No, they tricked you on the shortwave in the camp," said Giancana. "Yeah, you fell for it, pal," said Rosselli. "What?" he asked as his breathing accelerated. "How can I believe you?" "They didn't kill her," said Rosselli. "Listen, if you take care of Carlos, we'll have Kate right here in this room waiting for you when you get back." "You're lying." The right side of Rosselli's mouth curled as he eyed his friends. "Johnny Rosselli says he'll produce the girl. He will produce the girl. I have no reason to say differently. I would have offered you money or something else. Kate is still here in Florida, so I go in alone. You will be flown in and you will be accompanied by 2 people, chaperone." Rosselli finished his wine. "Patch, you upset the apple cart knowing about that professor defecting to the Russians. You've got some kind of connection. Your goal of killing Sanchez aligns with our goal of staying alive. And just another added thought, you pull this off and we will protect you. You will have to work for us. You will leave in coordination with the invasion," said Trafficante. Patch stared at the slick Rosselli. "Listen," said Rosselli, "I know they buffaloed you, but she is alive. Okay, now you're going to buffalo them. You'll be meeting with them here in Miami in the next few days. Play along with them, but remember, we want you to kill Carlos Sanchez." "Mr. Rosselli, nothing would give me greater pleasure." "Good man. Listen, you relax here today and for a few days," said Rosselli, putting his arm around Patch again. "We'll cover it up on our end. I'm proud of you, Patch. You've got guts. You're a good American." The warm, moist air hit Patch's face as Rosselli brought him outside to the balcony. Hundreds of people below were sprawled out on loungers or swam in the blue pool under the palm trees. More were out on the white sand beach. As the ocean waves approached the beach in slow synchronization,
Chapter
he
26.
thought about Rosselli's proposed Coconut Grove, Miami, retrograde, and being ripped into the future in 1961 hung over his head. Patch spent Sunday and Monday night back at the safe house without Meinkewitz or the trumpet solo. On Sunday night, he watched Anita Bryant and Roger Williams on The Sullivan Show. He wondered if Rosselli and his friends had already talked government agents into the wild plan to fly him to Cuba. On Tuesday morning, Dan Presslin, his breath exuding a putrid remnant of whatever he'd been drinking all night, arrived in a shiny red Chevy convertible. "Bet you wondered what we were going to do with you, Captain," said Presslin, looking Patch over. The car reeked of cigarette smoke and bad cologne that could not mask Presslin's breath. He looked in the rearview mirror as he pulled away from the Cuban standing on the walk. "Well, you're not looking any worse for the wear." "You mean Guatemala? How about you, Dan? Rough night?" Presslin flicked an ash of his cigarette out the window. "You don't take time off to enjoy yourself. You burn out. I'm not going to burn out." When they reached the highway, Patch, despite Presslin's breath, leaned into the front seat. "What have they got planned for me?" Presslin inhaled and blew out the smoke. "Oh, your situation has everyone from Robert Ashcombe on down having apoplectic seizures. You're a VIP, Patch," said Presslin, snuffing out the cigarette in the ashtray as he accelerated down the highway. "Bob Dietrich and General Ted Hillsdale are meeting us at 4 p.m. "I haven't been briefed on what they're up to." With his hand on the wheel, Presslin turned and looked at them both. "Learn to love it, boys." The Everglades, April 4th, 1961, 3:55 p.m. Meinkewitz checked his gold Timex as Patch approached. When he saw Patch, he ran forward. "Patch, did you hear?" "Hear what, Ray? They just fed me chicken quesadilla, beets, and carrots, and these big vanilla ice cream cones." "Will you listen up, Patch?" "Okay, Uncle Ray," he smiled. "Carlos Marcello went into the office of the Immigration Service in New Orleans like he does 3 times a month as a registered alien. So what's your big news?" "Oh, they cuffed him and put him into a motorcade to the Moson International Airport. Then he was stuffed into an airplane and shipped to Guatemala City, 1,200 miles away." "Is that how far easterly flew us back?" Bob Dietrich stood no more than 20 feet away by a palm tree. He held a wire-rimmed notebook in his hand. "Little Kennedy was behind this. He's made one monumental mistake." I agree, said Meinkewitz.